Hi everyone, it's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my co-host here. Hi ladies.
Hi.
James Bond.
Good morning.
James Bond.
Moves, man.
In trophy yesterday and
to
this
catch
morning.
my breath.
Bele.
I didn't believe how I sat still from 6 a.m. till 8:13, 13 past 8.
Wow.
Till I got to my hotel this morning.
Whoa.
Called everybody I could call. And the unfortunate thing was that until you get to the Apapa exit, you won't find one last small official. And we were also struggling on our own. So
I just had the gem of last night here yesterday.
I called him.
You called him?
The zonal, and that one kept saying that they were there. And I kept saying that we've not seen one. Until I cited the first one, it was at the first Apapa exit to go to Apapa. You know, the traffic. The problem is all the trucks are parked on the road.
Right.
And this morning we had the alternative road blocked yesterday. So people got home 3 a.m. My husband got home 12 midnight yesterday.
Wow.
Unexpectedly, they just blocked it. The roads are bad, this raining season, and the trucks are on the road, the tankers are on the road, all the way to Oria.
Such a nightmare going to that area. Such a nightmare.
We need government to please open the other ports. There's the port in Port Harcourt, there's one in, decongest the Lagos port. It's not working anymore. All the trucks, empty tankers, empty containers are just parked on the road trying to get to the port.
We have to find a lasting solution to this because that place is just a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
How are you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing great. Yesterday was my daughter's birthday.
Oh.
And thank you. I got so many. I was saying that she got so many calls. In my whole 30-something years, I have not received as many
serious?
calls.
That's a superstar now. That babe is hot.
Who received yesterday. Yes.
That babe is hot, man.
Thank you, everyone, for your well wishes.
Oh,
Thank you
nice.
so much.
I didn't remember.
Yes, well, and also we know my mom gave us a scare yesterday.
What happened?
I mean, she went to work, and from the moment I spoke to her around 1, and we had not heard from her the whole day.
Are you serious?
You know, we're wondering where
Because
she
she's
was.
all the way in Jos anyway, so
and you know there's a curfew, so.
Right.
But thankfully
Thank
she's
God.
fine, yes. So
Great.
Goodness. I mean,
That was so scary.
I can honestly...
I have like ulcer pain.
Immediately.
I could not sleep.
Because you don't hear from your
just
loved
don't
ones,
know.
you'll be wondering what happened. Because especially when they're all the way in
You
Plateau.
can only imagine what the other people are going through.
Yeah. So sorry about that. How are you doing, madam?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing great. I saw your video.
Which video again?
In Yoruba.
She did a video.
Yeah, she was talking about
the
these
plateau.
killings that happened, the plateau
Do you
state.
understand what I was saying? Do you understand
And I didn't
No, I read the
understand,
comments for
but
the
yes,
interpretation.
I did that, and it was amazing. I felt, okay, this is like you have a platform where we can really speak on behalf of these people, even if we can't do anything tangible at the moment. We should lend our voice. And I was thinking that if I come here, I would suggest Miriam should do hers in Hausa, I'll do mine in Igbo, you do yours in Edo. Let's just, let's talk about
that's
this.
what
I actually
one voice.
cursed out on my pages on the very first day it happened. So there's a course on my page, and some people
Are
are
you
telling me.
kidding?
So now I swear time now. I say, well,
Yes,
I
now.
can't keep quiet.
Yeah,
about
we
this.
have
And I like
to
the
talk
fact that
about
we are
this.
united in this.
Everybody's
Yes.
united in this. This is totally wrong. And in fact, all the headlines, everybody's about
Today
Plateau.
is about
I see you are very close. It's close to home because you have family there. So you're constantly worried about what's going on, what's
I actually
happening.
forgot I had an uncle in Jos until my mom called yesterday that she has not reached him.
Oh,
So you see,
She has reached him and he's safe.
I had to
Okay.
quickly use her phone to call.
okay.
I've never been to Jos before, but it's just
And
I've
such
been
a
there
beau-
once.
and such a
Beautiful place. Beautiful, calm place.
you guys have snow or something like that. Snow.
No, but it gets
Yeah,
really cold.
cool.
It's really
That's
cold.
right.
So, wow.
They have ice. For
Yes,
the
we
sometimes.
get, when it rains, it
Okay.
rains ice.
All right. Cool.
Beautiful
Nice.
place. Your top is beautiful.
Yes,
Thank you. Let's go on a break. It's Thursday. We're not doing anything serious today. Actually, we're doing something serious.
Oh,
Child
yes,
child
we are.
safety.
Come on.
It's very serious. Let's go on a break. When we come back, look at the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right, we're starting with the Punch as usual. Plateau massacre. Jos protesters chase officials. Stone vehicles, offices in government house. That's the self-help you're talking about, Nima. Luth detains baby mother for 4 months over unpaid bills. Federal government to raise $2.8 billion from abroad, says DMO. PDP to INEC, don't recognize Oshomole as APC chairman. And Soyinka to Buhari, you're treating killer headsmen with kids' glove. As I said, the Plateau massacre is all over the papers. Everybody's coming out speaking with one voice on this matter. So let's talk about the human interest. The the woman who's been detained
Yes,
in
by
Louth
Louth.
for 4 months. They couldn't
4
pay their
months.
bills.
Yes, so the man's name is Mutiu Busari. They've been in the hospital. The wife had a cesarean session to have the baby, and they were not able to pay their bills. So they've been in the hospital. The man has been trying all he could to make sure that he was able to pay up. But the bill is about 387,200 naira. Oh. The guy has gone to, he had to donate blood at some point, had gone to carry bonbon, that's cement and block. Yes, just to make sure that he's able to even feed the wife and the baby in the hospital.
So Louth was supposed to be affordable for
I don't know.
Yeah, but I know that.
But cesarean session is actually expensive.
No, cesarean session in general hospital is about 80,000 if you've registered.
Whoa,
so if you've not registered for antenatal and all that, all the bills will start to come.
Maybe it's even all the bills from March all the way of feeding them, all that stuff. So
but
it's possible.
The MD is saying that there's nothing like detention. That it's not called detention. Is if they have treated you and you're not able to pay, you stay there till you are able to
eating hospital
pay
food,
up and all of that. And right now
just be there.
they've reduced. No, you're not exactly.
That's feeding.
So
you have to sort it out yourself.
We had such situations when I was on bed rest. We on the bed will now start to donate our food, start to buy diapers for the baby.
And I know of a few times, my mom is a nurse, as you all know. I know of a few times my mom has had to put money together for patients like that.
Who cannot afford
and the
to
nurses
pay their
would
bill.
come together, put money together.
Yes.
So all you're just doing,
like
all they have is the
we
bed.
need a proper welfare
just give
system.
the baby a what's it called, the crib, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Baby
it. The
cot.
mother will sit on the chair. It's called
Yeah, and
sit
wait.
out.
Whoa.
You
All
sleep
night,
there.
all day.
So at night, maybe when the bed is vacant, we'll wake up. Okay, someone has left.
Oh, come on.
That's sad. Moving on to the nation. I think I need another cup of coffee. The Nation. Buhari to shake up security. That's what he said. President meets Saraki Dogara. Just protest turns violent as troops parade 3 Plateau massacre suspects. CBN directs banks directors to protest data. Killings must stop, says Soyinka. Court orders forfeiture of Dezani's 325 million naira land. Afe Babala's pills for ailing Ikogo to spring water. Okay. As I said, Plateau is all over the papers. Who wants that story? So,
Pass the Zani story.
go ahead.
Which of stories? I have the Plateau story.
Yes,
So there was a protest that happened yesterday. The people were adamant. They were not moving in as much as the officials had to shoot in the air just to disperse them. They refused to go. Okay. They were climbing the fence. They wanted to have access to...
Let me just add to that. It was a protest. All the youths in the state had walked from one end to they walked all the way to the government's house and demanded to see the governor, but they were told he was not there, and they were stopped from going into the government's house. So it took them jumping over the fence to get into the government house. Was trying to talk to them,
The chaos that we
I didn't hear about.
Would result from self-help.
Right.
That's what's happening.
And all the institutions should be seen to be proactive and working and unbiased. Is what we have gotten to now. So now that the government house is no longer safe people are willing to spill blood to get in. I hope that government will see what will happen when we start to approach 3-arm zone and presidential village.
But the government is saying they will arrest
in a similar story,
people.
The president has met Dogara and Saraki, where he has pledged that he's going to actually find a way to rejig the security operatives.
You know, Mariah,
to see exactly.
Mariah, you know what?
Someone should pay. There should be consequences. We shouldn't wake up in the morning. They've reshuffled.
You know what is
my pain right now is
action should start to happen.
Mariah.
You know what I keep saying about all these reports? If you take these newspaper reports from years back, put them together, it's the same thing. The only thing you change are the dates and maybe the numbers of the people that have been killed. Nothing has been changed. Nothing has changed. It's the will do. What is taking so much time that we cannot find a solution up till now?
Let's move on to Vanguard. Violent protests rock Plateau government's house. You can't blame the people. They're angry. Federal government targets 2.8 billion naira debt from offshore sources. Excessive power charges. Reps label discos as fraudsters. Court rejects ex-Governor Nyame's plea for bail from prison. FJ dismisses global report on Nigeria's poverty level to spend 250 billion naira on export zones. And lets Buhari seek help on killings if that's Soyinka. So let's talk about Nyame. Who has that story?
Yeah, I have Nyame. We remember Nyame was a former governor of Taraba State that had been sentenced to 14 years. So he's asking for bail on the grounds that he's not given access. The Kuje prison he's in, he's not given access to the herbal medicine for his diabetes and hypertension.
Okay.
So he wants, you know.
Let's ask his family
So I was going to ask lawyer.
To bring the herbal medicine to jail for him because, bros, my initiative, Shoulder for You, we do visitation to the prison. Sometimes people there, basic amenities like water for female, sanitary pads.
They don't have.
It's a
But isn't this such an irony that the reason you're in prison is because you have diverted funds that would have gone into hospitals for people that would have been treated, and here you are. So now you know what it feels like when people cannot get treatment.
They will bring their book for him. Nima, send some.
Let's take the story on FG dismisses global report on Nigeria's poverty level. They're saying that the indices that were used to compile this were probably taken from when we're in recession.
That is futuristic.
Yeah.
That it was a projection. It wasn't the... You know, I was citing the report in the paper on the 73 million.
Okay.
Said it was a futuristic one. They were projecting that if Nigeria continues at the pace we are,
we'll get there.
Yeah, so,
okay.
Anyway, but they've asked us, the federal government has asked us to disregard it.
Yes.
And the federal government is putting so much in place for infrastructure, development. So don't try to believe some American agency.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Are we feeling it?
Are we feeling
What
it?
do you think? Are you feeling that?
Are you feeling the wealth
ask yourself.
in the nation?
I'm not
Moving
feeling
on
it.
to Daily Sun. Stop the killings. Demand justice as Christian body alleges plot of fresh attack on the southern Kaduna and Middle Belt states. March towards with look action, says Shoyinka. 1.64 billion naira fraud. Court declines to grant jailed ex-Taraba governor bail. FAC meeting deadlocked as states and NNPC disagree. Military to monitor personnel and families' calls. Unfolds new social media guidelines. Imo Assembly suspends 4 members sympathetic to the deputy governor. So, yeah, the military, do you have that story? Go ahead.
I do. So the Defense Headquarters has warned that all those in the armed forces, Army, Navy, you know, they would monitor their calls, their phones, as well as their families. And the reason why they're doing this is they found out that when these troops move, there have been continuous attacks. So it could be maybe you're on the phone with your family and you say to your family, this is where I'm going.
So they're trying to, that's one.
The second one is social media.
Exactly.
Yes, they put up information, you know, on social media. So that's one of those are the 2 reasons why they have to do that.
But could that infringe on freedom of speech for people to actually express themselves?
No, of course not.
I think this is one of the exceptions when you have an emergency or you have a
situation.
In a situation by somebody, a family member of the military, maybe your husband who is in Air Force.
Okay, you're saying we had a family member
or records something where somebody is doing something illegal or wrong, and you have that clip. You can't put it on social media.
No, I think what you're trying to do is it's not really about monitoring your family. Yes, that okay. Be careful. These are important, sensitive information. We do not want you to
precautionary,
take.
not
precautionary. I guess.
There was a report that 2 soldiers were killed in one of the ambush against the bandits on this Just Plateau issue. So sometimes it could be such things.
Yeah, I think for me,
we're on our way to this
measure.
You know, we're on our way to this place.
Let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. Security, Buhari plans reorganization to stop killings. I think the Nigerian's problem is the plans. You don't want the plans, you want the do, right?
Yes.
Right. Action. Nigeria named among 10 most dangerous countries for women. All these things that are coming out. I didn't read this one, no.
I didn't see that.
APC convention, governors jittery over Oshomale's reconciliation plans. Governors meet over minimum wage, Paris Club refund and others. Court orders interim forfeiture of the 325 million naira landed property to Diezani. And Fayose gives promotion letters to 46,000 Ekiti workers.
Hey,
most of them are civil. That guy is just the
evil
genius.
He's an actor.
I saw the clips yesterday. You know, he was giving them. I mean, they were so happy. And most of them were teachers, lecturers. You know, the civil servants. And those are the ones that vote. So he was there distributing by himself, giving them the papers, you know. I'm not sure if it was grants or something, but he said promotion letters. Yes, promotion letters to 46,000. Goodness me.
Okay.
They want things to be difficult for his opponents. This fire me. We'll see how that goes. Okay, let's move on to The Guardian. Okay, unfortunately, we can't take that, but we'll just read the headline. President Buhari to review nation's security apparatus. Shoyinka craves action against killer headsmen. And I think we're all in agreement with Professor Wole Soyinka and amongst all the Nigerians that we need action towards the happenings and places. All right, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. It's Thursday, so today we're discussing safeguarding our children from home accidents. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Nobody prays for domestic accidents, but sometimes they occur. Report has it that accidents are the main cause of injury and even death in children. As a matter of fact, the place where people regard as the safest place, which is the home, there could be many hazards there. How do we safeguard our children from home accident? Join the conversation on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. We're going to bring in an expert a bit later to share with us tips on how we can safeguard our homes. But we'd like to hear your views, your own experiences. What have you seen and how are you managing in your homes? I know that, I had a serious scare. My husband actually had a serious scare because he came home, it was just last weekend. I think it was either Monday or so, it was a weekday. And he came home early, saw the help in the kitchen by herself, and was wondering where the kids were. And he heard them upstairs. So he walked upstairs, he was just hearing noise, and they were all in the help's room. So he entered the room, because he hardly ever enters that girl's room, but he just felt the kids were there. Okay. As he entered the room, the first thing he saw was heated iron. Hey. My son had plugged the iron. He didn't even know he plugged it on. And the iron was there, steaming hot. Okay. And they were there playing, jumping on the floor, on the bed, had no idea. Whoa. The thing had heated. My husband jumped in and turned off the plug, and he carried them. He just busted out crying because he was like, what could have happened? He said he beat especially Michael, the boy that turned it on. He said he finished beating him well.
I know what they say about boys and accidents. I was just reading, and in statistics, it shows that more boys actually get into accidents
more than girls. Yes,
I have gone to, I think I've had experience of almost any kind of accident that could happen. My son right now has a chipped tooth. Wow. You see, I keep saying if we're abroad, they would think I was abusing my child because he falls all the time. He has this scar that's on his face that once it heals, he falls down again. I'm like, don't you even know how to block your... He's running around and...
Spirit of adventure in them, because I was saying to my husband, it's like I didn't train this girl and this boy. Exactly. It's like I'm a different person. Because I remember my daughter, different mother. At 1 year plus, I taught her the cooker is hot. By boiling her a little, she never went close to my kitchen. But my son knows how to remove hot meat from the grill and kick it till it's cold and eat. You will still go there.
One of the things
you're ironing, and my daughter, once I pressed the clothes, it was hot. I just put her hand on the clothes, and she never came close to where I'm ironing again.
But the boy wants to see why it is hot.
But my son, he will touch it till the dress is closed and cold and picks it up. He's never discouraged.
So, Nima, what I do is, because I have hyperactive children, 3 of them. The 2 girls are hyper, but my son is Oga Kamji. That's what we call him. He's pulled his tooth how many times? At a point, the dentist told us that this stuff will not grow again. So we have to find ways to give artificial, but thankfully, it's growing at the moment. So he gets injured like on a daily basis. He bumps his head and all of that. So what I do is I make sure that I don't leave them without adult supervision. No matter where I am going to, somebody, at least one person or 2 people will be there to monitor them.
But adult supervision today, my help was in the kitchen. Exactly. Focus, and the kids were upstairs playing.
I'll tell you like what happened to me one time, or my son. He went and he took a bottle of, I think it was paracetamol syrup, and he finished it. I didn't even know. I just taken like, I'm sure it was less than a minute. And he came and said to me, Mommy, see what I took. Well, quickly rushed him. There's a hospital right down my street. And that's when I learned about activated charcoal. So like when they take something poisonous. So it's something you should have at home, you know, that's one of the immediate...
I use palm oil. I mentioned it here too. My husband, this same boy, swallowed a coin. Remember? He swallowed a coin. And
how did we get it out?
In fact, it took about 4 days or 3 days
for him to
because we kept going to do the X-ray. The doctor said, it's okay, it will move down. We kept wondering, it will move down. Okay, it's here now. I'm like, what the heck? After that, maybe about a month later, he now swallowed a bead, the sister's bead.
So we don't do bead again.
I've stopped buying beads. So these boys, I don't understand.
It's not even about adult supervision. It's not. It's just that they're very active.
No, the thing is,
you know, they are growing. That's the stage they are in. That's so you just have to make the house safe,
conducive
the safest
for them.
it can be.
Yes.
My girl would sit at home, and my daughter used to play very quietly, so you won't hear her again. Once you don't hear her again, try to find out what she's doing. But my girl wouldn't. So that day I came early from work, and she was chewing on soap. In the bedroom, and my girl was just there watching African Magic.
Oh my goodness!
That was the day I decided you are going to learn something. You're not. I'm going to keep you busy,
right.
Because a child, you're at home with a child, you can't hear her. She's not doing anything. You're not.
You're not looking.
You're not checking. You're not looking for her.
When my children are quiet, that's when I'm the most worried. Yes. I run and I look until I find them and I see what they're doing. But you know, it brings me to the question, because while we're talking about this, I tried to do some research, and it talked about that a lot of these incidents happen in countries where, like poor countries.
Right.
That is like, it is only in recent times that we have understood the burden of, you know, home accidents, and we're talking about the awareness. They said there's actually a 50% decrease in, like, you know, higher income countries than.
Let me take this call from Yusuf.
Like
Yusuf, are you there?
Hello?
From Ilorin. Morning, Yusuf. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
We can hear you. You're live. Go ahead, please. Oh, sorry about that.
So
yes,
I wanted to say quickly that, you know, sometimes these accidents happen when you're not there, and you think the help is careless, you know, but accidents have happened in my presence. I just looked away, and before I knew it, it happened. So I think the most important thing for us is to make sure that you take away harmful objects. Exactly. You know, you just make sure, like, I don't have this kind of table in my sitting room. I have a foamy kind of table, so you bump your head there.
Thank you, Obeji, for bringing that up, because I remember that when my brother, in the US, when my brother's wife was going to have their first child, I remember all the plans she'd put in place to keep the house safe. As this boy was going to have a child, they changed the tables, they made it, they burnt the blunts up the edges, got all the
safeguards,
they had safeguards in every corner, even the outlets. They were blocked, all the plug outlets across the house. So we were ready for a baby entering the house. But here in Nigeria, we don't do that. You just come in.
That's what I was talking about. They're saying countries like that, because people are more aware. So they have actually a 50% decline in those accidents. But yet in our country, we don't know. We just assume, well.
Olusoya, are you there?
Yes.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. You know, the safeguard of children is very important, and I can say a mother has a specific role to play. You know, fathers sometimes they not normally be around, but a parent, like a mother, I mean.
Mother. You started again, no. But guys, it's not about mother.
I want to say that.
Parents, man and woman, both of us are responsible for the children. Please don't bring. We are trying to remove that narrative. It's not about the mother. Both of us are responsible.
Most times. So you're together at home, even with the dad, and he's expecting that, okay, the mom is on this issue, she's got this issue. So he's there watching football, and the child in front of him has
that room, he burst out crying because he was just like, what if this kid had
I know something.
My husband right in front of him, and he was distracted watching TV, and my son was busy destroying something very terrible. When I came in, I started screaming. I was like, well, you walked up. Well, you're there. You're supposed to be, because I didn't hear him, that's why I came in.
He's not supposed to see.
No, but apart from that, but this is very important, because I've heard that a lot of these accidents, when they happen, and unfortunately when it leads to death or serious injuries, it affects the marriage. Some marriages don't recover from it. They go their separate ways, because you're now blaming, you know, who is to blame.
I would like to hear your own views, your experience, because we're going to bring in an expert who would help us to know how best to safeguard our children at homes. But let's take a few tweets.
Hashtag Mr. Nigeria says, see, beautiful ladies, there's no amount of safeguard precautions we take for our children. We can't stop them from getting injured while growing up. It's part of the adventures. All we need to do is to ensure that the environment is safe as possible. Then Ademola Alalade says, it's important to monitor our children both at home and outside home, because they are very vulnerable to various things. There are no set of rules on how to safeguard them. All we need to do is to be vigilant and be aware of their well-being.
Talking about vigilant, being helped, even the help sometimes don't really pay attention.
So what you do is, in as much as we know that accidents will occur, as the kids are growing up, they need movement. It's allowed for them to have freedom. Space. There should be space.
Yes.
And even if you cannot, as long as you keep those safety measures, it might reduce the rate of the accident and possible impact when it finally happens.
For us here in Nigeria, I think a lot of us employ underage help. And you leave your children with those children that
it's illegal, by the way.
Yes.
Underage help.
I mean, you don't do that. That child has not finished growing themselves, does not understand the safety, and then you put your own child in that person's care. That's, you know,
let's go on a break. When we come back, as I said, we have an expert who come in and help us out on this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us on the show is a child safety expert and CEO, Strap and Safe Child Foundation, Ms. Bolanle Edwards. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
You can join the conversation on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So you've heard our conversation, our experiences. In your view, how best can we safeguard our homes?
Okay, I'll start by saying that our foundation actually talks about safety at home, on the road, and at school.
Okay.
Because we've had different and loads of scenarios that had to plunge us into doing what we do now, and we've been doing it for the last 10 years. There's so much to do. You know, I was listening to all of you, and I was just smiling that, wow, boys would always be boys, and children would always be children. Don't forget we were once kids as well, and we did some of those things. If not girls, our brothers also did as well. Yeah. So really, we can't really blame them. So safety really is everybody's business. Yeah. I'm going to start by saying that. Child safety is everybody's business. It's the mom's business, it's the dad's business, the minder's business, the guardian, the government's, the non-government organization as well. So all hands on deck when it comes to safety with children.
And talking about making our homes safe-proof or child-proof, because, I mean, recently, unfortunately, the man lost his son concerning the pool in the house I hear. People have different luxury items, things, a nice Versace couch, you know, things that have this, you know, all this lovely glass decor that is so beautiful, and they are attractive. But when it comes to having children, do we need to reconsider how we decorate our homes?
Absolutely. On the other side, I do interior design, so I know there are some things that I tell people when I'm supposed to design for children. I tell them, hey, you have kids on the house. The first question I ask is, how old are your children? So that we know the kind of design we give to you. I'm not just going to do it because of the aesthetics or the beauty and all of that. We need to be very, very conscious of the fact that safety first. That's the slogan, safety first. So for anybody who wants to design his or his our home, the first thing you put into place is, okay, I have toddlers, I have children, maybe between the ages of 0 and 12, which means you would have to child-proof that house. Child-proofing in the sense that you have every safety gadget in place. You have like your fire alarm. You have plugged sockets, which is not in use. You also make sure that you have gates for toddlers that are still crawling. By the staircase. You have children rolling down the stairs.
Madam, what you're saying right now is sounding in my ears like for the rich people.
It's not.
Not really.
No, hold on, because we have people who stay in one-room apartments, who stay in 2 rooms, and they have as much as 5, 6 children. So how do they go about all this? That's one. Secondly, if you're going to probably get a help to assist in taking care of your children, what's the criteria? How do you know that this kind of person would cater for my child if I'm not there? Okay,
the first one you talked about, it said people, crowded family in 1 bedroom and all of that. Safety can be observed in the 12.222 square meter space.
Oh, bless you.
Okay.
It's not about the space, it's not about the size. It's about you making sure that every point in time where you are, there's safety consciousness on the hearts of everybody. So really, it's not about the gate and all of those things. I mean...
Let me quickly buttress what you just said. Let me quickly buttress what she just said with an example. The woman that minds my son always never leaves her buckets of water outside. So she's always pouring it out. So once she said to me that, don't ever leave this boy with a pail of water. I was like, a pail of water.
Why is that a problem?
How can he climb in?
She
now narrated an example
that
happened in Ijebu of a child drowning in a pail of water. So she's always turning all the buckets, and I wonder why she's always doing it. So she doesn't have water when there's no light.
And for me, like,
so conscious of him.
Okay, like for me also, that point is what we've done in my house is that we've cleared everything. My house is just like an empty space, you know, so they're running around.
Since you can't keep up with them. So
exactly, just create a safe place for them. So that works.
Yeah, but you see, there are little tips also, Burnley, that, like, because when you notice the plugs are open, some people leave open plugs, you know, you think that you can be cautious, you yourself can be safe, but the kids will not know, they got to touch. So are there little things you can help us out to look around?
So many.
Just a few things.
We have, you know, flying cords and wires, electricals.
So you can tip them to the floor.
Tip them to the floor or eye them under the carpets, because we are just conscious
I'm sorry, what's that thing they do with it? Trunking. Trunking.
Children are very curious. You can't stop them from wanting to find out what is behind that thing. So it's now left for you as an adult to make sure that you put those things in place so that they don't get injured. At times we see adults, you were talking about your son plugging the iron.
Yes.
I mean, it's just been curious. Okay, I've been saying,
Mommy iron.
You know, let me just try. And unfortunately, he forgot it and left it at that. Normally, iron shouldn't even be kept around the children.
Be out of reach.
Out of reach, totally. Tongs for your hair, the hot water kettle. We've had children have burns and all of that. Poisonous substance as well.
Yes, that's so
I have
important.
a friend who lost a son some years ago. The child went and drank an insecticide.
What?
Absolutely. A 4-year-old, and he passed on. And of course, the marriage went like that.
It's real.
Because it's always the mother's fault.
Yes.
It's always the mother's fault.
I know, go ahead.
Then, of course, falls as well. I've talked about burns. We also have falls in the house. So many children get head injuries when they fall.
Yes, a lot.
I've also have a little scenario because, funny enough, I've had this situation happen to people very close to me. This is a friend, a banker friend, who works from morning till night and leaves the children with a minder. And unfortunately, this girl had a very bad fall. And she had a head injury, which they never discovered until some days after when she started complaining of headaches. A 5-year-old, by the time they went for X-ray, brain scan and all of that, it was too late. She passed on. Hey, 5-year-old. Their whole marriage is still intact, luckily for them. So it's, I mean, they're just, there are things that they're very avoidable.
Now, let me hang in the marriage because I notice, I've not really stopped my maid from doing this, but my help actually, when she baths the kids, she always makes them, after their body is still wet, she makes them come off the tub themselves. I mean, he's a 4-year-old. And I know they can be slippery. I know it can be dangerous, but I've never really told her, stop that. But I always say, oh God, I hope he doesn't slip.
No, what have you been actually go there and make sure that the children don't come out of the tub? And then say mat in the bathtub.
There's a mat, but I know, I have almost fallen in that same tub. So each time she's like, come out. I'm wondering.
No. You have to
tell her to know that most of the accidents that happen in the home happen in the bathroom. Slippery falls. It happens in the bathroom. You have children falling off, and you know the way the bathrooms are even built these days. We don't have tubs anymore. We now have showers with some sharp-edged square towels, which I think is totally unacceptable in an environment where you have children. The best thing you can do when you have such places is either you make sure that you guard it, or you just level the thing. And make sure you have just level it, because you've had children having to come out. The first thing they want to do is just to come out of the jump out. In fact, they jump out in their wet body to go touch TV, which electrocution can also take place from there.
But what's the place of people saying that a smart kid knows better not to fall? So, but
who said that?
Let me just say, those of us that are guilty, let us stop. So I have always baited my children and seen them sleep to the point now my son is not 2 yet, he has mastered how to run on wet feet. You will see him going carefully, like I dare not want to fall again. So I now adopted the mentality that mothers will say, they'll get used to it. They will get used to it. That kind of thing. So I'm guilty of it.
You're still okay for now, but please, you need to stop.
So I wanted to ask quickly, like I have an active boy who loves to somersault. He
We have girls who somersault.
Yeah, he somersaults on everything. I have spoken, I have beaten, I have advised, I have conducted deliverance. There's nothing I've not done for this boy. He just flies over the seat. He cannot pass like this. He will have to fly. How do I cope? You know what I do when they are on about to go on vacation? Okay. Oh, I appreciate the teachers. They don't know why I give them so much because I know this boy is a handsome. How do you handle such child?
First thing, please don't. The first thing we do as parents is that we start beating them.
Yeah, I beat my son. No.
There's a place for beating. There's a place. But
that iron one.
Hold on. But guess what? You have not actually sat down your children from when they were babies on what to do and what not to do when it comes to safety. Have you?
Okay, let me answer that question. Your own I have. Let me explain how own I have. Let me tell you something.
When did you start?
My daughter, I worked with her, so we talk about it. She stops.
I
give her an example. He stops. But my son, you will fall. You will fall. And he just jumps. So you are jumping right after.
And my son always asks why.
No,
yeah, the other one will take it. The other one will say why. But why did you say so? Sometimes I hear my nanny. I hear his nanny go, why is it that you're always asking why? I told you, she gets up.
Like I told you, the children are very hyperactive.
Okay. Right.
Especially in fact, you have some girls who are much more active than the boys. Yes. But I'm telling you, it's just like when we preach the advocacy for child safety on the road. If your child hasn't been sitting in a car seat from the day that child was born, and you want to begin to put that child in a car seat, it won't work. When the child is about 2 or 3, it's difficult.
Yes, I noticed.
It's difficult. It's like your child telling you now that, Mommy, I don't want this beverage again. I'm done with this. I want this type of, like, why are you changing? It's difficult to mold. And that's why it's always very important to catch them when they're very young and cradle.
Hey. Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll take some phone calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us, Samara. You had a question?
Okay, yes. My question is, how do I, because what I've done in the past is I get so scared when an accident happens. Okay. And I found out that my son, when he gets into an accident, he doesn't tell me about it. Oh. He tries to hide it. So, it took me sitting with him and talking to him. So how have you gotten, have there been situations like that?
Okay, like the scenario I just gave about a friend whose daughter passed on from a fall, a very hard fall. Of course, they didn't know what happened. Even the mother wasn't there when the fall took place. I think it's always very important to always check the body, your children's body. Regularly. If you're a busy mom, yes, regularly. If you're a busy mom, you're not there with them. Even if they go to school from about 8 a.m. to about 2 p.m., when they come back, you need to actually strip them. Did you have any fall today? Check. Because there are times they just feel that it's not such a big deal.
I'm going to get a call from Adam. Adam from Kaduna. Morning, Adam.
Yes.
Thanks for calling in.
Yes, I love this program. I wish you would repeat it for both the men and women to see this program, because the boys are always at the least contribution. But you give a child assignment because don't just leave it for the school and on. The boy needs to be doing something when he come back, because they are very, they always want to do. They jump from one position to another, they'll pick everything. The mother will be tired and the father will just say, the mother is teaching them. Please repeat this program for us to enlighten, for people to see it.
Okay.
It's a sensitive program. Thank you.
YouTube, yeah.
Thank you very much. It's going to be on YouTube, so hopefully people can watch it. Let's see some tweets, please. You have some tweets? Obiajulu?
Yes, I have. Lekon says, Madam BC, please don't discourage your somersaulting boy. He's getting gold for Nigeria Olympics. Obasi Irene says, just keeping an eye on them always will really help. Warning them of certain things and places like electric sockets, kitchen, and all that. And
you're going to ask about people who are dealing with
how do mothers who unfortunately have lost children, how do they cope with this grief? Because some people, the guilt is enough to kill them. And we just cited instances of it breaking up and ending up the marriage.
It's a tough one. You must have a supportive family. You should have a support system in place. Nigeria is such a place that you don't have places where you can actually, I think there are people who are coming up to speak out now. Most of the time when such situation happen, people really don't want to talk about it because there's a lot of blame game laying all over the place. Oh, why did you do this? You shouldn't have done that. My own friend, where she lost a daughter, the husband was with her all through because, and of course, they had another baby again.
Wow.
And all of that. So really, you need to speak out.
Let me take this call from London. Uzo, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just want to say that if I have a 1-year-old myself.
Okay.
And you know, you never can predict how their mind works. The next minute they are with you, and the next minute you don't know what's going on. So what I would just say is, we should just try to make sure that the environment where they're growing up is child and this child, child friendly.
Right.
That's all I can say. As much as you try your best to make sure the kids are growing up in a very, very child-friendly environment.
Right. Thank you very much, Uzo.
So I have tweets here.
Okay,
so Daniel Akanimo says, apart from us, the parents, the teachers of our children also have a great part to play on the children by teaching them on the topic carefulness. Then he also says, we parents have a lot of role to play in safeguarding our children, not only leaving them to the supervision of the help. You know, however, most of our male children get these strong attitudes from their fathers, and all of us have seen in different homes.
So, you know, like one of the tweets she just read, which I have a problem with, I do not want to, you know, sort of stop my children from expressing themselves. I don't want to bring up broiler kids, Ajebo children, you know, I want them to be able to go out. So how do we do it so that we are not overprotective, you know? Right.
At the same time, in fact, my friend was just sharing with me the other day, she's got 4 girls, and she said she thinks she's overprotecting them for so long. So when she comes back from work, she takes them on a walk, brings them out of the house, leave the minder to actually have some sane moments for herself as well. So they take a walk, come downstairs, they play in the compound. I actually do that for my boys as well. You know, there's so much energy. They want to expand. You can't continue to, you know, stifle them.
Let me take this call from Olajuwon from Maryland. Olajuwon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
Go ahead, please. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. So your guest is spot on. Right. I'm telling you, she's spot on.
Thank you.
The first thing you need to know, I have some few points here. Safety is, if you think safety is expensive, then try accident. The second thing is, safety is just a culture. Everybody has to develop that culture. Either the father or the mother and everybody. You need to learn and teach it at home. Another thing is, anywhere you go to in a part of your house, ask yourself this simple question. What can go wrong? What is the worst that can happen? In your kitchen, in your parlor, in your rooms, just go around. You know all these ologos. You have all these aesthetic flaws. The kids just finish taking their bath, and you have all this glaze and polish and towels. They would definitely sleep. Why don't you put rugs everywhere?
Right.
Last thing, housekeeping. Simple definition. A place for everything in its place. As simple as that.
On point.
Do you have any more tweets?
On point. We do. So I wanted to use that tweet to ask a question. Andrew says, see how the ladies are smiling when African sons do Ijogbo. They let them do it because they are sons, but if it were the girls, they frown African mothers. So are we accommodating of more accommodating of the excesses of the boys?
No.
I'm
telling you that I've seen girls who are much more active. Not just active, hyper than the boys.
I have active girls.
You know, look at the latest story about the family of about 6 that passed on with a generator that was locked in the kitchen. These are things, like it said, go into each and every room and see what can go wrong. There's sometimes that your neighbor's generator is behind the window and you don't know there's this, subtle seeping in of the fumes coming in. Then we're talking about even safety when the children are on the road. We talk about children being abducted these days, and I'll give you a very good scenario that happened sometime on Allen Avenue. A child that was trapped in the car, and the next thing the stranger did was he opened the car and was going to pick up that child.
Because the child was trapped.
So what we do now is that we're talking about safety and security, and we're going to schools. That, you know what, let's begin to tell them, catch them young. If we, the parents, are not getting it right, let's begin to instill in the hearts of these children. I remember people telling me that this is an away thing. this is not our culture to be safe. And I tell you, if you think it's not our culture to be safe, then try ignorance. Try to put all those big machines that you put on your road, and the child is just dancing like a moving object in that car, and see what can happen. We've had scenarios of children being thrown out through the windshield. Yes. And the mom is just, you see mothers breastfeeding while driving. I find that insane.
See, that safety thing,
Yes.
I use my belt, but the kids at the back, I just always just...
They must
plenty. I would just no.
They have to use it. Then you have to upgrade the car.
Yes,
upgrade. In a world where things work, once you have children beyond 4, 3, get a van or utility vehicle. You know.
Unfortunately, we have to run off.
Beautiful. We have to do this again.
Yes, we have to, because honestly, a lot of mothers and not mothers, parents,
guardians,
caregivers
everyone
need this information. All right, that's all we can take on the show. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Yippee.